Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well as we are kicking off our 5th week of school. It is flying by. We are beginning Module 5. As you recall, last week we focused on mistaken behaviors. And this week we're looking more into guidance in the classroom and strategies that you can use regularly to support children in positive behaviors and help you think about the way that you talk to children and how you support them in their self-regulation. And we get into self-regulation a little bit more too, but I'd like to give you some extra resources this week to be thinking about culturally responsive guidance in the classroom also. So I'm adding a webinar to our class materials, and it is about an hour long, so you want to take time to plan in looking at that, but don't let that shortchange your reading. Your text is just full of really great material this week. So just kind of looking through the material that is in our class for the week, I want to kind of go over what would be a part of our class notes, and I'll still post it, but I want you to have this to kind of help you think about things overall. Remember, there's always that little box with guidance practices and then key concepts. And those key concepts are in your book, but I really think it's important to look at those, especially in advance of your reading, to help you be really strategic in your reading. So that you're not just feeling like you're reading forever and forever and not pulling anything out of it. So we're going to really think about being active readers and using the concepts and the bullet points and notes from our class to help support you in comprehending that reading and then allowing that to help you apply it in the practices. I'd love to see you incorporate references from your text into your journals or your discussion forums, so I can kind of see that that you're taking it in and it's making sense for you. So thank you for all of your work. I'm working really hard to get us caught up on the grades too. I appreciate your patience with that. So I've been catching up from my trip. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that kind of as we go along. But so let's think about this, the idea of guidance in the classroom, kind of the big picture. And there are certain practices that distinguish a teacher as a professional versus a technician. And that is the practice of positive guidance instead of obedience-based discipline. And that's because there's an intentionality around it and a very tuned in, acute awareness for the teacher of what's happening in the classroom with young children. And in our book, we call it the with itness. So it's the ability to kind of assess the situation in the classroom and then make a judgment or a decision in the spur of the moment to help children stay on a positive track. So there's an anecdote in the text that the teacher does this. So take a look at that. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of effort and practice. In all of my years of teaching, it's every year has been a new iteration of trying things, and we're always like scientists trying to figure out what methods are really working for us and what really matches with who we are as individuals and the ability to teach with our heart and stay true to who we are, and to who our families are, to stay really keyed into who they are also. The addition of the culturally responsive webinar can kind of help us with that and make sure that our strategies are really aligning with children's ways of being in the world and how their families are raising them. So it's like finding that nice balance between the two. So it does take effort and practice and knowledge to be able to respond in a positive way, especially to mistaken behaviors. And it starts with building a positive relationship with each child. And so there is a note in here in our notes about that some children are a little bit more challenging than others, and that just really depends on who you are as a teacher and maybe what your own little triggers or hot buttons are. So think about that, and we want to make sure that we're giving that love and that connection to every child that we have in our classroom, and that we are learning to work past our own limitations with those kinds of hot button things that can happen with kids. So we want to stay as positive as possible and as authentic as possible. And the way we do that is by spending time with children in positive experiences. So you always want to find those little moments that you have in between very, very busy days to connect individually with a child. And that might be that during center time, somebody's in the block area and you're sitting down and you are interacting and having that experience with them in the blocks, just because, not because you necessarily have a teaching goal in that moment, because you just want to enjoy that time with the child doing something that they love. And it's something that can fill your cup and fill their cup. Another thing that your notes talk about is that we can always make a concerted effort to even like write down positive characteristics for children who have a lot of mistaken behaviors in case we are struggling with that relationship. So we're going to build that relationship, and then we're also going to really dig deep and find the positive characteristics for that child. It's really easy to focus on that characteristic that's maybe challenging for you. So I encourage you to find the positives in every child. So let's see here. I'll let you read the rest of the notes on your own. I want you to look back at the guidance practices, thinking about that unconditional positive regard that we were just talking about. We also have some resources around conflict management skills, and how to head off problems in the classroom. So there's some resources for you around that this week. And then I want you to also kind of look into the key concepts in your text. So I'm going to share a video clip about conscious discipline, which is just one curriculum, but this video on conscious discipline has a lot in there about teachers and some really great examples of teachers helping children with self-regulation. I've got a couple of little short videos on redirecting challenging behavior and on problem solving. And then you also have your webinar on culturally responsive practices. So the webinar is the longer one. The others are only a couple of minutes. So I'm hoping that you'll really enjoy those and think about them in connection to your readings this week. So you are going to do the readings and you're going to watch the videos, and then you're going to do an application activity where I really want you to try out some of these strategies, that we are discussing in the text, and maybe even something that you find on one of the videos. And so that's your application activity for the week. And then a journal entry on resiliency building for young children. So what does that look like? Again, incorporate your references and have fun with it this week. Have fun. So I hope this video is helpful in kind of giving you an overview, and that I'm not rambling too much. These are going to be unedited videos, but they're just here so that we have a little bit more connection between us. So I appreciate your time and attention with this, and I'll see you in the forums and over emails. Thank you.